So welcome to the annual Flags for Freedom program facilitated by the combined efforts of Operation Democracy, the American Legion, Locust Valley High School, our parent council, and the generosity and care of the people of our community. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and thanking the organizer of today's program, President of Operation Democracy, Ms. Kay Wenninger. Many thanks also to the kind and generous support for this and every program from our parent council, specifically today, Ms. Grace Pistone, Mrs. Lori Kahn, Ms. Jennifer Maselli, and Ms. Stephanie Lamb. They are the ones responsible for our lovely decor, so thank you again. We also thank our custodial staff and buildings and grounds crew and building and central administration, as well as Board of Education for their support. Additionally, a special thank you to Kathleen Tisch for putting together the program for today. We are honored today to have on stage with us a group of Bayville and Locust Valley veterans, particularly those members of Howard Van Wagner Post 962 and Robert Spittel Post 1285. We welcome and thank each and every one of you. Additionally, please allow me to introduce members present from the Locust Valley Board of Education and Central Administration. So we're fortunate to have with us this morning Vice President Margaret Marchand, Trustee Lauren Themis, and our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Kenneth Graham. Okay, we gather here today, the day after Memorial Day, to honor our veterans and our students in a very special ceremony during which each graduating senior will leave with the United States flag and copy of the U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence. I would like to thank Kay Wenninger, President of Operation Democracy, for her support of the students of Locust Valley High School. This unique assembly allows our students to understand and appreciate the efforts of the veterans sitting here before them, as well as those who gave their lives to protect our freedoms. Last weekend, many marched in parades and placed a flag at the grave sites at our national cemeteries in honor of those that made the ultimate sacrifice in service of the United States. Today, senior class, a group that has demonstrated countless acts of civic readiness, you will receive a flag folded for you by the very men and women who epitomize bravery and service. If you have an opportunity, speak with them today to learn about their experience and why seeing you hold this special flag is a source of such pride for them and our community. It has been said, our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. Keep this in mind as you receive your flag and continue to demonstrate the ideals of democracy that the red, white, and blue represent. At this time, will everyone please rise and join Caitlin Bianco in pledging allegiance to the flag and remain standing for the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner by Emma Barnaby.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regulate, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, Emma, very nice. Thank you. Okay, at this time, please welcome me. Please join me in welcoming Kay Weniger.
Good morning, everybody. First, I'm not going to talk very long because I'm going to introduce one of my directors from Operation Democracy, and it was a graduate from here, so I think it would be appropriate for him to speak today. But I think that also I want you to know that Operation Democracy was a charity from 1947. So this year we are celebrating our 75th anniversary with the town of Locust Valley and St. Marigles. And tonight I will be getting on a plane to go to St. Marigles, where we will be dedicating a life-size statue of Teddy Roosevelt Jr., our hometown hero. So we're doing a lot of things, and I want to thank the school, the superintendent and the principal and Ryan and everybody who has been so helpful in helping to get this program off the ground, and Painting for Peace and the things I do around the community. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you get your own flag, so please honor your flag and take care of it. And I just want to introduce Michael Sniffen.
Good morning. My name is Michael Sniffen. I'm an officer in the Navy Chaplain Corps, and I also serve as Dean of the Cathedral and Theological School in Garden City. But today, of a special importance is that I am Locust Valley class of 1998. I haven't been in this building in quite a long time, but I spent so much time right on this hallway in band and chorus, and so much time on this stage as a Locust Valley jester. Any jesters? Excellent. I was a middle school wrestler, but that didn't work out in high school. But any wrestlers, good work. I want to say a few words about Operation Democracy, which I've had the pleasure of being involved with as a director for many years. Kay invited me to be a civilian chaplain at the 70th and 75th anniversaries of D-Day in St. Marigles in Normandy, France. And it was amazing to show up there and to see signs in their town recognizing their special relationship with Locust Valley for all of these years. Locust Valley sending so many people and goods and resources and prayers to help that village rebuild after World War II. My other connection to Operation Democracy is that my grandmother, who intended to be here today but wasn't feeling up to it, she's about to be 90 years old, still lives here in Locust Valley, is also a Locust Valley graduate. She was 14 years old when Operation Democracy was founded in 1947, and as a student of Locust Valley schools at the time, which were all in one building, now up the street, she was a part of the first art show, Paintings for Peace, a tradition that has now gone on for many, many years, and I had the joy of seeing artwork from Locust Valley students hanging in an art show in the square in St. Marigles. A very profound thing to see, and many of you, I think, were a part of that show over the years. I also want to say in my capacity as a Navy chaplain something about national military service. I know that some of you are going on to military academies. Many of you are going on to study the entire range of things that you may want to do as a career or vocation in your life. I'm one who came to military service later in my life. I went to college to study theater and vocal performance. I then went on to do graduate degrees in philosophy and theology. I went on to do a PhD in ritual studies and to be involved in teaching undergraduates and graduates for many years. As I was about to turn 40, a mentor of mine who had been a commander in the United States Navy was retiring, and she said, you know, we really have a need for spiritual care, especially in our sea services. The Chaplain Corps serves the Navy, the Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard. And because I had been an active pastor for over 15 years, I came in through a program called DCO, Direct Commissioned Officers. That's where the President of the United States directly commissions people who have skills that are needed in the armed forces across the Department of Defense. So even if you're going into the humanities or engineering or philosophy or the arts, this is always a possibility for you to give back to the country through national service. So if you have had any questions about that after the assembly, I'd be glad to talk with you. And know that our prayers and blessings go with all of you in your chosen vocations when you leave this place. You can be proud that you graduated from a school that has been a part of this kind of international relationship and this kind of patriotic service these past 75 years and more.
Thank you. At this time, please join me in welcoming a performance from our band under the direction of Mr. Vincent Guerra and Mrs. Lisa Conti.
Thank you.
Okay, and that group is fresh off a performance in the Memorial Day Parade, and I believe headed to a competition on Friday. So once again, great job. Thank you very much, band. Okay, at this time, I'd like you to join me in welcoming back to Locust Valley High School Lieutenant Colonel Jack Butine from the U.S. Army. A graduate of Locust Valley High School in class of 1968, Lieutenant Colonel Butine played football and wrestled, plus was in the school play as a senior, a play called Tea House of the August Moon. He attended the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, graduating in 1972, and completed a total of 31 years active and reserve service in the U.S. Army. Lieutenant Colonel Butine served in infantry and military police units in Panama, Germany, and the United States, completed airborne, ranger, special forces, and Halo schools, and is a master parachutist. He is married and has 2 children and 3 grandchildren, and lives in Shelter Island and North Palm Beach. When not working, he trains for triathlons and is friends with recent Locust Valley High School and West Point graduates and the families of Bobby Carroll and John Cote. He also shared with me that this is his first time back to Locust Valley High School since his graduation. So please give a warm welcome back to Lieutenant Colonel Jack Butine.
Well, thank you very much. It really is the first time I've been back here. I don't see a whole lot of changes. Someone reminded me coming in that the auditorium wasn't air conditioned. I never remembered it being air conditioned. Well, good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen of the American Legion Post in Bayville and Locust Valley, and most of all, members of the class of 2022. Over the next 10 minutes or so, I'd like to give you an idea of a few of the things I observed during my time in service to our country. We'll go over what it was like back in the day, how I got here and what I did along the way, and where I think you can lead us and lead your communities and our country in the great years ahead. We're all here to, we think, and talk about service to our country today. If you went to a Memorial Day event yesterday, you probably heard about service and dedication and willingness to serve. But let's talk about now what happens when you dedicate yourself to the service of others. My feeling is that most folks will get back far more in return than you put out. That's certainly been my experience. My dad had a habit of quoting passages from the Bible. I'll have to defer to the chaplain here. I think he butchered a few of them. But one that I can remember was, bread cast on the water comes back a ham sandwich. Never actually saw that anywhere. But in most cases, I've certainly thought that's true. Now, what was it like back in the day? You heard when I graduated, it was a while ago. But 1968, you could buy a Ford Mustang for $2,500. My house on Cox Lane in Locust Valley cost $28,000. You could buy a new Corvette for about $4,300. We listened to music that we bought in stores in Glen Cove. The big color was cranberry. Madras shorts, shirts, and dresses were all in style. Now, if you wore sandals to class, or worse yet, no socks, you got sent home for the day. You got suspended. Imagine that. I drove to Greenwich Village one night to see Jimi Hendrix play at the Fillmore. One of the last things I did before I left to go to West Point was go to the Westbury Music Fair to hear Jefferson Airplane. Now, the only news source back then was the 6 p.m. or the 11 p.m. news on TV. You watched it on one of 5 or 6 TV channels. The war in Vietnam was on every night. The way the stories went, reporters would embed themselves with units, and they'd film as they walked or flew along with the units that they're with. It was all pretty distant stuff. What I recalled was thinking that the country was probably in need and I should do something to help. Then pretty much 2 things drove me to get in the Army and go to West Point. One was an assembly right here. A group of Special Forces sergeants came in and talked about what they did, or Green Beret sergeants. They talked about what they did in Special Forces. And I thought, boy, that was for me. How cool was what some of the stuff they did. The sergeants were terrific. I thought they were a real breed apart. The other thing was a TV show called The West Point Story. A couple of Navy guys must have missed that show. The West Point story was big in the 50s. It ran on reruns through the 60s. But it gave a good idea, in my view, what West Point was like. If I get off the script, you'll never get out of here in 7 minutes. But the West Point show, the TV shows, was not like a whole lot of my experience at West Point, but it was a good TV show anyway. I also had a classmate whose father was a grad. He was a terrific guy. He convinced me that if I could, I was going to go to West Point, and after that, be a Special Forces soldier. After the 4 years at West Point, or now they say 47 months, I graduated, became an infantry officer. The sense of purpose was strong, because although the Vietnam War was nearly over, new deployments had about stopped in January of '73. The Russians were still a threat in Western Europe. Communism and the risk of insurgency in Latin America were all concerns. The training we had was designed to keep us and our fellow soldiers safe, but the one thing that was clear in all the training was mission always came first. It was never really about you. Along the way, a couple years ago, I got to meet Pete Dawkins. Pete Dawkins is a pretty well-known West Point grad, class of '59, All-American football player, first in his class, Rhodes Scholar. Pete did a lot of stuff. He was also the first guy in his class to become a general officer. When he was first captain and captain of the football team, Douglas MacArthur, who was a hero of World War II, was living in New York City in the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. He called Pete one day and said he wanted to address the football team. Now, a request from the living five-star down the road from West Point is probably a tough one to say no to. So, sure enough, Douglas MacArthur came up and talked to the team. Well, Pete said what he talked about. He said, look, you don't play for yourselves. You don't play for your teammates. You don't even play for West Point. Rather, you play the football team. Rather, you play for the ghosts of the thousands of American fighting men who gave their lives for the country. And then he said, now go out and win. What was consistent across all branches of service was, it's never about you. That saying about there's no I in the word team is definitely true. Airborne and Ranger schools were big. Both were challenging and important. You can find all kinds of stuff about Airborne and Ranger School on YouTube. Later on, I went to Special Forces and Halo School. Halo School was interesting in that you get out of a plane real high, and the plan is you open low. Well, one night, while in Ranger School, the instructors had us running around outside the camp. They kept us running around in circles, and there was a big puddle in the middle. Every once in a while, we'd stop and start to do push-ups in the puddle. Every once in a while, the instructors would tell you to stop doing push-ups, just lay face down in the puddle. Wasn't quite sure what they were teaching on that one. But eventually, they were trying to get people to quit. Eventually, one of our classmates, the class leader, a West Point fellow classmate of mine, started singing. He sang the song from a Walt Disney movie. Yeah, I don't know the name of the movie, but the song was Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day, oh my, what a wonderful day. Pretty soon, everybody started singing the same song. And at the end, the instructors couldn't get anybody to quit. They sent us back to the barracks. We all learned the lesson, one team, one fight. There's a letter out there on the internet. It's from a 22 West Point grad football player. He's writing to his younger self, and he ends up with, lastly, I want you to internalize a message. Never give up. Success can sometimes be just like that one math problem you're working on and can't figure out how to get the answer, but you keep at it, and eventually you get the answer. So I think you're all in a good spot now. Whether you're going to one of the military academies on the Y3, I don't know why 3 of you are going to Navy. But whether you're going to a service academy or headed off to college or college and ROTC or getting a job and starting your career, you're all going to do your part by being the best men and women that you can be. Give it 100%, and you'll be successful in whatever you do. Nothing is more valuable than persistence. A couple of years ago, I came across a book. It's a pretty long book. I got through most of it as far as I can recall. It's called The Fourth Turning. The fourth turning is not new. It was written in about 1997. But it looks at history as occurring in cycles of 80 to 100 years each. There's 4 cycles, each of them about 25 years. The first one is kind of a high. You just finished a period of crisis, and everybody appreciates what they lost during the prior crisis. Then you got a period where things are really good. But you got to look, but we start looking for another way. Then there's a third turning or a third period where chaos sets in a little bit. That's followed by the fourth turning. The fourth turning is where there's a longing to get things back on track. And that drives a surge to return to civic duty. And that's where you guys come in. Believe in the message, never give up. Success can be just like that math problem you keep working at until you arrive at the answer. Whatever you do, do it as well as you can do it, and you'll give great service to America. I'm certain that you'll find if you do that, just like my father, bread cast on the water will definitely come back a ham sandwich. Thank you all for listening. I think you're all terrific. Keep up the great work, and the best is always yet to come. Where are your 3 Navy guys? I can't let this go. Tig, Roger, Gage, stand up, will you? You here? I never say this, but go Navy. I'll see you guys at the Army-Navy game. Thank you very much.
Okay, at this time, we're going to have a demonstration of the flag folding. So I'd like to invite the members of American Legion or special guests who are going to be participating in that, as well as students Nicolina Kiesling and Gia Villela, who will read about the proper etiquette and symbolism regarding folding the flag. As they read, you will see the flag be folded.
The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war, and for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decour, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day.
The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood and mothers, for it has been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for defense of our country since the day they were first born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in the Hebrews' eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in the Christian's eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The 13th fold, or when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to ask for the folded flag to be presented to Lieutenant Colonel Butine. Additionally, as we know, our students will all go in diverse directions. A number of seniors have chosen to attend a military academy and/or serve in the branch of the military and/or participate in ROTC program. We are grateful for your commitment and proud of you. At this time, we ask students who have chosen to serve our country by enrolling in a military institution or pursuing military service to please rise, be recognized, and come forward to be the first to receive their flags. So first we have Caitlin Bianco. We just need
Are any parents here?
just one. There were last. No, do one by one. And Caitlin will be participating in ROTC at the University of Notre Dame. They changed their mind.
What?
They changed their minds.
No, I don't know where they're.
Yeah, go ahead. And Karen Chung. With Case Western. He'll be participating in the ROTC program at Case Western. Gage Khan be attending the Naval Academy. Ty Malarkey, who will also be attending the Naval Academy. And Elizabeth Dunn, who will be receiving her flag from her father, U.S. Army Reserve veteran Christopher Dunn. If you want to stay up here, when Jessica goes up, that's fine. Okay. At this point, we now ask all of our members of the American Legion to come forward to help present the flags. And by row, we will ask the members of our senior class to proceed forward to greet, thank the veterans, and to receive their folded flag. All right. You can go back to your seats. You can go back there. You're on the.
You're making me nervous.
Envy. Well, this winter I'll
Do you see her? I was trying to make sure she goes. Oh, she's the yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. Just want to make
She's
sure.
like, hanging out all the way in the back.
I'm gonna have her make sure she's first, so she can come all the way to the end once the time comes.
Where are you off to? Down there. Oh, okay.
No, I'm happy to present to my daughter. Appreciate it.
Oh, do you want to see?
No, I'm good. I just
Thank you.
Lighting.
What's her? She's Thank you.
Thank you.
When you're ready, you can come back to your seat. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, I think it's good. Either serving or
I'm gonna have at the end. It's his brother.
oh really?
Yeah. I'll give it back to you.
And it's easy. You know, it's not like play for. You can head back. Oh, I'm good. You guys are back to your seat. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Okay, so just to give some information for the students, when you exit, there will be a box that is for you to take to put your flag in. Also in that box is a copy of the U.S. Constitution and Declaration of Independence and a message from Operation Democracy. So when you exit at the end of the assembly, please take one of those, and also just sign. There's a sign-in sheet, so just so that we know who did not receive a flag. So you're just signing indicating that you got your flag, so we can find the students who are absent, so we can make sure that they get theirs. So just that's an instruction for you. There'll be someone out there to help guide as well that piece. But also at the conclusion, we'll also try to get a group photo before you are dismissed, before you exit. We'll do our best with that. And so we have two more things left on our agenda. At this time, I'd like to call up the principal of Locust Valley High School, Patrick DiClemente, who will share some remarks.
Thank you so much. I want to start by saying how beautiful this scene is and thanking everyone involved with making this happen. As early as 7 o'clock this morning, we had parents setting up in here. We had some veterans arriving very early, and we had the fire department setting up outside out front. So this is certainly the combined effort of many people, and it's certainly appreciated, and it shows. I also want to start with some takeaways from some of the comments. So I'm just going to my takeaways to some of the comments that have been made is that some of our colleagues here on stage gained exposure to a future and friendship right here in this building. So welcome back to our alumni, and thank you for emphasizing that. Another takeaway was that all of us, regardless of where we are in life, will always have the threat of conflict, and it's how we manage that threat and how we respond and how we unite. The mission comes first, one team, and all of us, each one of us, regardless of our age, will have the opportunity and will have a part in the future and the opportunity to be the best individual that each one of us can be, to be our best self as soon as we walk out of the doors today and into the future. So once again, I'm so proud to be here among so many selfless, service-orientated leaders of our school, young people, so many service-orientated leaders of our community and also of the world. In a few brief moments, as Mr. Sarandria stated, we'll conclude the ceremony with a fitting tribute by Jackson. Students and staff will then resume the day by returning to period 4 classes in the school day, and guests will socialize as long as they're interested in remaining at school. I ask students to protect their flag, to regard it with the dignity that it deserves. Thank you to our veterans of service in attendance and beyond who have served, led, and continued to do so as leaders here today in the community for all of us in Locust Valley, young and old. Your efforts and the actions of each of you and others in uniform as representatives of the United States ensures freedom and fosters an opportunity for the great in life for all of us. Seniors, and to each of us, may we be civic-minded, respectful, and protective of our country and others. May we always look to serve others. May we remember, as stated by Mary Roach, heroism doesn't always happen in a burst of glory. Sometimes small triumphs and large hearts change the course of history. Let me say that again. Sometimes it is small triumphs and large hearts that change the course of days and history. Many thanks and best wishes to each of you as you enter life after high school, your impact in the community and the world, and certainly triumph through actions of service, leadership, and humility. We express our appreciation to Lieutenant Colonel Jack Butine and Officer Michael Sniffen. Welcome back to both of you. Come back again in the future. I thank and appreciate so much Ms. Kay Weninger, who is now on the West Coast but found a way to make today happen. Thank you. To our students, staff, parents, and the community members who have partnered to organize this morning. Mr. Brian Sarandria and Mr. Al Wheeler, thank you especially for your work. And now for a fitting tribute, as mentioned, please join me in welcoming our very own Jackson Palmer.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the ones who died and gave that right to me. And I'd gladly stand up next to you and remember still today. And there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.